how is Laughing Vikings growing and expanding? Because we're still growing, we're still expanding, even today, even during this shutdown and stay-at-home order. Like, we are still trying to push the boundaries. How are we doing that?
It's a great question, Brandon. How are we doing it? Well, I'm one of those disgustingly annoying people that early on in this COVID lockdown scenario made a decision that I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to plow forward with my goals and my dreams, and I'm going to do all the things that I can despite the chaos in the world. Obviously, that stuff's still going around, it's happening, and there is still a virus, and there's still all kinds of change and tumultuous situations happening in the world, but that doesn't have to mean you just like curl up in a fetal position. So really early on, I made that decision of like, and I didn't make it alone. I made it from having some good mentors and some good coaches, listening to some of those coaches and podcasts online. And one of the things they really said is all of us have a decision and have a choice at any point in our life. It's always the best of times. It's always the worst of times. You can always focus on the garbage that's going on in your life, but you can always focus on what you can do. And we all have control over that. So early on, for me personally, I made a huge commitment to personal growth and learning. So taking workshops, taking classes, whether it's acting stuff, voice and speech, or digital media and online marketing, and learning the tech of Zoom, also personal health and home workouts and all that sort of stuff. I sort of made the decision early on that was like, if this was worst case scenario, like what's the worst thing that could happen to you? And I think some people could agree, like aside from you and all your family members dying, one of the toughest situations would be being in a concentration camp or being in a jail cell where you are fully locked up and you're not able to go out. Well, how would you maintain your sanity? And it would have to be by working on your mind and by growing and reading and training and doing all those things versus thinking of all the things that you can't be doing while you're locked up behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what we've been doing. So how are we expanding? We've been bringing on new members this whole time, new actors, to our online community and to
Mm-hmm.
our in studio community. And we've been expanding internationally now that we're not constrained by geographics or geography with Zoom happening. And we've also been expanding our session directors. So first, to get back to the first thing, our members, new members, if you are an actor out there who wants to be part of a community where you have support and you have a team of people working with you and for you and by your side, certainly go to laughingvikings.com and you can check us out there. But also, if you're an actor and you're interested in earning some side hustle money and working as a session director, or you want to start your own sort of studio business slash coaching client business, we are accepting and taking on new members or new session directors there. So we can maybe talk about who those people are. I would say number one, you got to be a working professional actor who has professional experience in TV, film, theater,
Mm-hmm.
commercials. Specifically, if you have any extra experience in casting, so if you worked in a casting house, or you've been a reader, or maybe you've just helped a lot of friends and colleagues with their own self tapes, so you're very familiar with the self tape
Mm-hmm.
process. And
Mm-hmm.
also people who have some editing skills as well, like to be able to basic editing. Doesn't really matter what software you use, but at least basic snips and cuts and fades and maybe the odd title, but very basic. And more important than all that stuff, really what we're looking for, I personally look for attitude and I look for vibe. So there's a couple things there. Very positive, very upbeat vibe. I want people, when actors are coming to us for help, we can't bring our baggage and our life's negativity, and we've all got it. We've all got stuff happening, but in that moment, someone needs a hand with an audition that potentially could change their life and change their career forever. It could be a 5 or 6 figure or even a 7 figure role down the road. So we need people who are able to put other people first, be a positive sort of beacon of light. Maybe people come into the auditions with stress and with some anxiety already. So we got to kind of help them shake that off and focus on delivering a great audition. And also, um, yeah, I guess those are the two things: the positive attitude and putting other people's auditions before your own garbage in your own life. I think that's really big. For that hour that we're working with someone, it's got to be about them. And I feel really confident myself and all the session directors here that while we're working with actors and with our clients and members, that they are getting great service, and they're getting someone who for that hour is really invested in that person's success. And I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you, but for me, and I'm sure I speak for both of us, one of the best things and most exciting things that ever happens is when someone lets us know about a booking that we help them submit the audition for, and we
Yeah.
were the reader and we were to run it. So if you're that type of person where you're A, you are an actor, B, you have experience, C, you maybe have casting experience, D, you have editing experience. But on top of all that, the most important thing is you're someone who is very positive, very optimistic, and someone who wants to help other actors in the industry. So if that that sounds like you could throw your name in the comment right now, or you can send us an email at lol@laughingvikings.com, or shoot us a DM at Laughing Vikings. And you can not only come on board as a member here, getting your help with your own auditions, but you can start running your own studio session. And really what I want to do is I want to help people, other actors, do what I did. And what I did is I built a studio business and a client / coaching business centered around auditions for actors and comedians. And now I want to help other people do the same thing. And you're one of those people, Brandon, who we've been working together quite a bit. You've been here several months now. And so maybe can you talk a little bit about your experience as a session director, how it's helped you,
Yeah.
maybe in the craft of things and the actual experience of running the sessions, but also financially. And maybe if you have any comments for someone who's thinking about doing something like this, or thinking about getting involved with us, what you'd say to them.
I know before I started working here, it was very much a do-it-yourself kind of vibe. Especially, I was talking with someone about this last week, I think, and like, I don't think it was advertly said, but during theater school, it feels like someone is continuously saying, if you don't do it yourself, you're not good enough. And I found it got me in a rut because I wasn't succeeding as much as I wanted to, and so I wasn't booking as much, and so that was a domino effect, and like it wasn't really healthy for me, and it wasn't really benefiting me. And so I knew I needed a change. I knew I needed to find something to give me more to get more confidence, to be more myself and get back to where I was. And like I felt like there was something missing going on in my auditions. And like I think I talked to you the other day about seeing an old tape of mine, and I was like, wow, I really saw how unhappy I was in that situation. And I think you were like, oh, well, I thought you were just sort of leading into it. And I was like, yeah, well, it was also real life.
You were playing sort of like a depressed, drunk, down on his
Yeah.
luck kind of guy, like a guy in a seedy dive bar. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you really went method on this one.
No, it was just my life at the time.
So,
but like it's really helped me understand that the more I put in, the more I'm gonna get back. And like, so like the more I help with someone's auditions, the more I'm seeing how tactics and how different people work, and how to work in front of the camera, when do I go back, when do I come in, like when do I do all that stuff, because like you never have enough time to work in front of the camera, but you do now because of your phones, because of like different cameras that you have on your little devices. You can now practice. You can now work on that stuff on your own. And like that's, I think, is the most beneficial thing of all, is like doing it yourself, but for the love of it, not for anything else, not for the casting, not for the booking. Forget all that. I always like to think of it as like acting is like a sundae. The more you put on, the better it's going to be. Like you get the sprinkles on there, you get the hot fudge, you get the strawberry sauce, you get M&Ms or Reese's or something like that. And like the more you add on to your sundae, the more interesting it's going to be, the more colorful it's going to be. But the casting is not that sundae. The booking is not that sundae. It's a little bitty cherry on top. So make the work something that's important for you. The more you do that, and the more you invest in learning, and the more you try and figure out different tricks and hobbies and stuff like that, the more dynamic your performances are going to be, and the better you're going to feel, the more confident you're going to feel. And so I think that's what I've learned the most, is just going for it and working as a team. The more you work as a team, the less lonely you're going to feel because you're with someone in that room. I don't really like working on monologues all that much. I love working on scenes. I love being in the shit with somebody. I love being in the trenches with somebody else and going, this is fucking hard, but you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to push past this because we can. And the more I feel that camaraderie, and the more like we come together, and we have everyone has differences, and you always have to adapt to the scene you're playing, the person you're playing with. And but the more you adapt, the more you try and figure this out, the more you work on your own craft, the better you're going to feel.
Hallelujah. Testify.